Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. This is a video for day 91. I'm going to do another day of scatter plots and line of best fit. Basically the same thing we've been doing, where you plot the dots and you make a line. But today I'm going to teach you how to figure out exactly where to start the line. So the line now has to not only go in the middle, but has to start in the right spot. And to figure that out, we need to figure out equations of these lines, okay? And now what I'm going to go over right now, you already know how to do. You got to do it on your midterm, you do it on the final. We're going to practice going over the equations of the lines. Now, number one, the accompanying diagram shows the number of cricket chirps per minute recorded at various Fahrenheit temperatures. So we have our X as our temperature, and we have our Y as our number of cricket chirps, okay? So you should remember that we have to do this. Y equals mx plus b, m equals b equals. And then we do some work to show our slope, and then some work to show our y-intercept, and then we get our final answer. So here is the only difference. So you know what you're doing. There's just one little thing. We would always use the first two in our table, but that's going to change, okay? And these notes are on the back of your packet. So it says equation for the line of best fit. Again, it's also called a trend line. We use our slope. There's our slope formula. Here is what's different. So we're not going to use the first two. We actually have to pick the highest and the lowest x value. So that's really the only thing different you're going to see from me right now. Highest and lowest x value. And there's going to be a lot of decimals today, so you want to round to the nearest hundredth. And again, we have to make sure that we start this line at the right spot. Okay? All right. So we're going to practice. Again, we're looking for the lowest and the highest x value. That's the only difference. Okay. So we're going to do just two practice problems with getting equations. So you're comfortable with that because we haven't done that in a while. So x1, y1, x2, y2. And your formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So it's going to be 115 minus 50 over 72 minus 52, okay, which is 65 over 20. And if I take, so 115 minus 50 is 65. Yep, if I divide that by 20, we're going to get 3.25. Now what's nice is that that already came out to be nearest hundredth. If not, I would have to round. Okay, so right now, 3.25. So notice it's asking me to get a line of best fit, but it's really just asking me for an equation, which I already know how to do. All right, and then the second part's gonna be the same, where we're gonna always be consistent and we're gonna use the first. So that has not changed from when we've done this in the past. The only difference is that we're choosing the highest and the lowest. And be careful, it's not always in the right order. Highest and lowest. All right, so for this was, I would always make you write x and y, and then I'd write the slope, and we'd plug into y equals mx plus b. So your y is, let me write that a little bit nicer. Your y is 50. Your m is 3.25. Your x is 52. And then plus b. If you remember, we'd multiply those. So 3.25 times 52 is 169. And then we subtract both sides by that value. And we get negative 119. So that's negative 119. So now that we have those two pieces of information, we put them together and we get our equation. Y equals 3.25x minus 119. Remember, your slope always goes with your x, and your y-intercept is your constant. Okay? All right, so that's example number one. Number two, the chart below shows the number of minutes studied and the grade received on a test. Remember, you're always comparing two things. That's bivariate, that's scatter plot. So we're looking for the lowest x and the highest x. Most of the time, it's in the correct order, but sometimes it's not. They're going to be sneaky, so be careful. So y equals mx plus b, m equals b equals, and we split up our work. Okay, so we're going to use 15 comma 50 and then 75, 89. So we have x1, y1, x2, y2. y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So it's going to be 89 minus 50. And then 75 minus 15. That's 35 over 60. 35 divided by 60. All right, so here's where we have to round. Okay, I said 35, I meant 39. Sorry. So 39 divided by 60, 0.65. So now we're not rounding, that's even better. So 0.65, that is our slope. All right, so now, again, be consistent. We're going to use the first point, and our slope was 0.65. So we're going to plug into y equals mx plus b. So we have 50. Your slope is 0.65. Your x is 15 plus b. So I'm going to do 0.65, which is already my calculator, times 15, and we're going to get 9.75. So 50 equals 9.75 plus b. Again, do the inverse operation, and we're going to subtract, and then we get b equals 40.25. Okay, so put that all together. Y equals 0.65x plus 40.25. All right, and that's your equation for your line of best fits. All right, so now that we're comfortable, hopefully, and remember how to do all of this, now we're going to apply it to scatter plots, okay? So we're just going to do 2 examples of the big tough stuff, and this is the same thing like you're doing on your homework. So here we go, scatter plots and line of best fit. So I'm going to put everything together now. So Megan and Bryce opened a new store called the Donut Pit. Their goal is to reach a profit of $20,000 in their 18th month of business. The table and scatter plot below represent the profit P in thousands of dollars that they made during the first 12 months. All right, so we're starting off with a tough one right away, unfortunately, because instead of X and Y, we have T and P. But that doesn't affect anything until the end. Okay, so we're going to start with, everything is already plotted for us, so that's great. I don't have to plot any points. Okay, everything is labeled for us. I have a title, all that's good to go. So I'm going to go draw a reasonable line of best fit. So now before I can do that, I have to figure out an equation. So need equation first, because now I'm going to teach you to figure out where to start it from. Okay, so I'm going to use the same process that I used on the previous page. So I need an M and I need a B. So we're going to pick the lowest X, which is your months, and these are in order, yay. So I'm going to pick my lowest and my highest. So those are my 2 points that I'm going to use. Okay, so my lowest is 1, 3, and my highest is 12 and 9.5. So we have x1, y1, x2, y2. And I have to do this so I know where to start my line. That's really what this whole day is about. Okay, so I have 9.5 minus 3, and then 12 minus 1. So that's going to be 6.5 over 11. Let me figure that out. And 6.5 over 11. All right, so now we actually have to round for once. So it's nearest hundredth. Hundredth is 2 numbers, so look to the third. Does the 0 round up the 9? No, it doesn't, so it stays 0.59. All right, so 0.59. Again, we're going to be consistent, and we're going to use the first points, and we're going to use our slope, and we plug into y equals mx plus b. So y is 3, m is 0.59, x is 1. You're going to multiply, just like we did on the previous page, and then we're going to subtract. It's not always subtracting, okay? If there's a negative, don't forget you do the opposite, and you would add. So that's going to get us 3 minus 0.35. That's going to give us, oh, that's a 9. Oops, that's a 9. And that is going to give us 2.61. No. Oh, boy. Try that again. That's minus 59. Sorry about that. and that's going to get us 2.41. That's the correct y-intercept, 2.41. All right, so now that we have all that information, now we can go ahead and we can make on our equation. And our equation is y equals 0.59x plus 2.41. But be really, really, really careful because your x value is actually t, okay? And your y value is actually p. So when we have our final answer, we have our equation, it's actually going to be p equals 0.59t plus 2.41. Okay, right here, so it's a little bit larger, you can see it. So p equals 0.59t plus 2.41. So don't let the, the non-x and y mess you up. If you got y equals 0.59x plus 2.41, you're good to go because they usually don't change the letters anyway. This just happens to do that. Okay, so why is this so important? Why do I need this? Because of this. Remember, this stands for the y-intercept. And I would always tell you that B stands for begin. So you're going to begin here. You're going to start the line here. So what you do is you take your pencil, you take the pencil point, and you go to your y-axis, and you go to where you think 2.41 is. So that's just like, because this is going to be 3, so it's a little bit below. So now don't make a dot, but just hold your pencil point there, okay? Don't lose that spot. And then you want to do what we learned yesterday, and you want to make sure that you go in the middle. So you can take your ruler and go in the middle of these dots as much as possible. Let's see, I think I gotta go a little bit lower. Let me try like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Ugh, that's really bad. All right, try it again. So keep that beginning spot. And now I want to make my line a little bit higher this time. All right, what do we got now? Got 1, 2, 3, I guess, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's not bad. 3 over here, 4 on that. That's not bad at all. All right, again, I started it where I thought 2.41 should be, okay? And I'm going to keep going. I'm going to put an arrow. So now you can't just start anywhere you want. You can't start down here at 0 and go through the middle of the dots. You can't start here at 8 and go, well, that doesn't even make sense, but you can't start here at 4 and go through the middle. Can't start at 1. It has to be somewhere approximately to 2.41. So don't make a dot here, but just put your pencil point here. And then don't forget, like I wrote on the notes, please make sure that you copy and write the equation. Again, notice no arrow. Okay, no arrow because it's no negative months or money. Months or money. Okay, so again, the only new thing, you already know how to get the equation. Okay, we just happened to switch up the letters. Don't let that mess you up. The only new thing is we had to start here, but we don't put a dot on the y-chip like we're used to because it's not a plotted value. That's why you can't have any extra dots. And then you put your line through the middle, okay? So using your line of best fit, so using this line, predict whether Megan and Bryce will reach their goal. Remember, our goal was 20,000 in 18 months. So if we go to 18 months and we go up and over, if we interpolate, we're only going to get to 13. So is 13 20,000? No, it's not. So no, they only get to approximately 13,000. Okay, so yours could be 13,000. Actually, it's a little less. I'm going to go 12,500. Mine actually looks like it's 12,500. Okay, and again, this is interpolating. All right, so that's question number 3. And we have one more to go. So question number 4. The table below shows the number of prom tickets sold over a 10-day period. So you have your days, you have the number of prom tickets sold. Plot these data points. Okay, so we have to actually plot the points this time. On the quarter grid below, use a consistent appropriate scale, draw a reasonable line of best fit, and write it's an equation. All right, so we have our day. We have our number of prom tickets. We have the prom tickets sold. So your days go up to 10. So I'm just gonna put, can count by ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, thank goodness it goes up to 10. And these, I got to get all the way up to 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to have to count by 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So plot these 5 points. So 1, 30, 2, 35. So this is what we've been doing 2 days ago. 5, 55, 7, 60, and 10, 70. All right, so that's part 1. So we're going to plot the points. We did that. We have a right scale, so we're good with that. And now we're going to draw our line of best fit and write the equation. Remember, must do first. You have to get the equation first so you know exactly where to start it. That's very, very important. Okay, remember from our notes that I said in the beginning, that on the back of your packet, you always want to make sure that you're choosing the lowest and the highest x values. That's a little bit different from what you guys are used to. So my lowest is 1, my highest is 10. This pack has actually been really nice because it's always in numerical order, and usually it's not. Okay, so we have our equation, y equals mx plus b, and we're going to start using our points 1, 30, and 10, 70, and then we'll get our y-intercept. So x1, y1, x2, y2. All right, here we go. y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So that's going to be 70 minus 30, and that's going to be 10 minus 1. So that's going to be 40 divided by 9. Let's see what we have there. We have 40 divided by 9. Okay, so we have to round. So you want 2 numbers. So does this third number 4 round this up? No, it does. It not do it. So remember, 5 or more raise a score. 4 or less, let it rest. So we are letting it rest. So it's 4.44. Again, as noted, everything to the nearest 100th. All right, so now that we know what our slope is, now we can go ahead and get our y-intercept. So we're going to be consistent and use that first point, and we're going to use our slope of 4.44. So y equals mx plus b. Y is 30. Slope is 4.41. And then you have your x. So you do your multiplying first. Then we do our subtraction because we're doing our inverse operations. Okay, inverse operations. And 30 minus 4.44 is 25.56. Make sure I'm right. 30 minus 4.44 is 25.56. Yes, okay. So we have our m and we have our b. So now we know that the equation is y equals 4.44x plus 25.56. Okay, so no changing any letters or anything like that this time because you have an x and a y. Okay, so we have the equation. Again, we have to have this equation because you have to know where to start your line. So start line here. Okay, remember before begin. So just like we did with graphing, but the only difference is you're going to go to 25.5, but don't put a dot. Okay, so this is not like regular graphing. You don't put a dot because there's no 25.56 here. Okay, there's no 0, 25. So you can't add an extra dot. You can only have the number of dots you see here. So we go to where we think 25.56 is. Don't add an extra dot, but go ahead and make your line through what you think is the middle. So I have 1, 2 above. Oh, I'm not too good at this. All right, we're going to try it again. A little higher this time. A little higher. And now we're going to go maybe like this. So we have 1, 2, 3 above and 1, 2 below. Yes, much better, much better. Okay, again, no arrows here on this side. Okay, no negative days or tickets. I'll just write no number of days or tickets. Yes, you definitely want an arrow on the right side. Let me clean this up a little bit. And then you want to just make sure that you put your equation, 25.56. So I hope you notice that it is very, very similar to the graphing unit, okay? Again, you already know how to plot points. You already know how to come up with an equation. Okay, we've done this before. You get your equation, and again, by the way, I didn't say this, but this is 9th grade math. You were going to do this again in 9th grade. The difference is now you just take this value, and it's for a trend line or line of best fit instead of just calling it a regular line. And this is where you're going to begin. Don't put a dot because you can't add any extra dots. And you just put your line through the middle of the dots, put your equation, and that is it. You know how to do 9th grade line of best fits. Okay, so for your homework tonight, you're doing the same thing like this. You're plotting all your points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're plotting the 5 points. Okay, everything's already labeled for you. You're going to do your equation. Now be careful. This x, look, I put them in different order. Be very, very careful. So you're using your low of 2 and your high of 11. So hopefully you're watching this video so you don't do the homework wrong. You're going to use these 2 points, 2, 7 and 11, 26. Your low and your high. Come up with the equation, draw the line, and then you're going to interpolate with the 10 hours. So make sure you're using the right numbers, 2, 7, and 11, and 26. All right, hopefully this helps. Any questions, just let me know. Have a great day.